Raila Odinga ne en neno ni Kenya obedo mongirore kendo jotelo oketo dwaro mar jopiny nyime. E twak mare mogik e kinde manoloso gi jood bura mag ODM e romo mane obagi tarik 20 dwe mar 9 higani, Raila ne onyiso jotelo mondo oket maino e dongo ngima mag oganda. George Bati nigi lerno.
Tarik 22 dwe mar 9 2025 mane ogai mar ODM Raila Odinga ochiwe twak mare mogik e kinde romo mar jood bura mag ODM e boma ma Machakos. Chieng'ni Raila Odinga noyango ni higa mokalo Kenya ni chiegni donjo e bugo kendo kata jolweny ne osewuok oko.
About a year ago, we got together with the UDA party to help steady the ship of the Kenyan nation that had been hit by extreme turbulence and faced a reality of collapse. Some people may not even know exactly where we were. But because I had a first inside impression of what was happening, we were very much almost on the precipice. Because as you see, after so many days of demonstrations, you saw that eventually the military were on the streets. And they were on the streets, of course, they were fairly civil to the Wananchi at that time. But that was because they had not been given instructions. And you know, there is what you always all the time talk about, the chief of defense forces. Once the military are given instructions, they execute. And we are almost there. We're almost there. So he said it's better to have a country that is civil, where leadership can be replaced through the ballot rather than through the bullets. And that was one of the reasons why we did what we did.
Mana ka jakor wach Raila no nyiso jotelo ni kata bed ni paro nyalo pogore, to kinde duto giket Kenya mokwongo.
Whatever the differences and misgivings we have as parties or leaders, we must have a country first. Only then can we set about discussing how to perfect the nation's imperfections and even who is to lead the nation. This is a core belief of our party. We stand for and with the country and act in the interest of the people of Kenya. I am convinced that Kenyans want Kenya to stand, and we stand with them on this. As Kenyans, we know only too well what happened to nations that went under. Some took too long to come back. Others never made it back at all. Kenya must never tempt that fate.
Ne owacho ni en to kod duond bura mar ODM ngang ne ok onyal yie mondo piny olwar e bugo kendo Kenya okethre mana nikech odwaro loch.
As a party, we must never be ashamed to remind the people that we can never accept collapse as an alternative path to power. We must never be shy to remind the country that as a party, we have pursued compromise before and will pursue it whenever necessary in the interest of the nation. We had the option of taking it out to the bitter end in 2007-2008. All we needed was to insist that we would not engage in any talks with our opponents. But we saw the danger of Kenya collapsing, and we opted for compromise for the sake of Kenya. We steadied the ship when the gridlock threatened the whole Kenyatta administration. In order to make the country move forward and pass some of the agenda that was seen to be pro-people between 2018 and 2022, ODM had lent a hand. We asked for no titles or positions in return. We insisted only on better policies and programs for the people of Kenya and reforms so that we would not witness the repeat of what had happened in 2017.
Twak ne mogik no bende nowacho ni kata obedo ni apaka mane goyo piny Kenya ne gisepieyo, dwaro pod nitie mondo jotelo sik kalalore kendo giber kod chuny ma keto dwach jopiny mokwongo.
Much work remains to be done in the pursuit of a stable, equitable and prosperous country that delivers to the citizens. It will require firm and resolute leadership, regular consultations, more sobriety, and constant focus on the needs of the people. I mentioned sobriety because in times like this, it is possible for politicians to spend more time listening to the echoes of their own voices and the cheers from the masses and forget that we are leaders and we are supposed to be leading. In times like these, it is possible to be lost in competing campaigns or populism and forget that leading means making decisions that may sometimes invite booing instead of cheers. I have been there. I've been cheered and I've been booed. I was once set up against the people when I set about clearing the ground for the Thika superhighway and the bypasses around Nairobi. Today, everyone claims credit for Thika superhighway and the bypasses.
Kowuoyo gi jood bura mag ODM, nowacho ni kata obedo ni kinde moro jood bura wetene nokwede kaluwore kod winjruok mare gi Moi, mane en chakruok mar kelo katiba manyien ma pachoka, jood bura masani kod mabiro nyaka chung motegno kendo maonge luoro e kelo lokruok.
My colleagues in Parliament once disowned me when together with KANU, I championed the Constitution Review Commission that laid the groundwork for what became the 2010 Constitution and which everyone claims credit for today. So my appeal to you as we embark on some of the legislative agenda coming up is that you should never feel powerless or feel like giving up because populists around you are seeking popularity at the expense of leadership. When they call you Baba and someone sets the homestead on fire, does Baba join the burning of the homestead just because it looks like exciting, or does Baba help to put out the fire? Does Baba release his sons and daughters to add fuel to the fire, or does Baba ask his children to fetch water? I know you know the answer. There's a time to lead and a time to acknowledge cheers. Popularity surges and wanes. Cheering masses come, change and go. But solid service to the nation, brought against all odds, stands the test of history.
Mana ka gima ne okoro ndalone, twak mare mogik Raila Odinga ne omulo piny India, kendo yango kaka tend pinyno ne okelo lokruok e pinygi kojiwo Kenya mondo bende onen mabor.
When Modi eventually became Prime Minister of India, he now replicated what he had done in Gujarat in the whole of India. Within the time that he had been the Prime Minister for 10 years, they have constructed 130,000 kilometers of railway line through PPP. They have, in almost every state in India has got 2 international airports in India. All this being done through PPPs. And that's why when Adani came here to want to do this airport, and too much noise was being made in Parliament for no reason at all. I mean, they pulled out. The Red Airport is just like here. It is. It is as it is. They are not taking it away. They are bringing their money to do it. They are bringing their money to do it. And they will charge for over 30 years so that they don't charge so highly. That's what would have happened. Now, a similar arrangement is happening in Kigali. So the Qataris are building Kibali International Airport in the same terms like Adani wanted to do here. So Kibali is going to be the hub in this region, no, not Nairobi, because of noise being made by other parties which were also interested in doing what Adani was supposed to do and paying people down under the table to make noise every day in the newspapers. Shame on them.
Egiko twak ne to Raila Odinga ne oweyo piny Kenya gi wach achiel ni Kenya kik nindi kendo jotelo kik nindi mondo Kenya obed mochung' motegno.
We need to wake up as a country, because if you don't wake up, you're going to continue to sleep. There's many opportunities that are available for us as a country. We as ODM must remain ODM and remain focused, because the country needs ODM. ODM has certain values which are core to the party, which makes ODM distinct from other political parties. I am happy to have been able to talk to you today ahead of the 20th anniversary of ODM. God bless ODM. God bless Kenya.
George Bati, Ramogi TV.
Mano kanyero Twak